Hello, friends. I hope you're doing well and that you had a wonderful week. And I also hope, of course, that you learned some new things. I'm happy to see you again for our new show, the second one of the year. Don't hesitate to let me know what topics you'd like us to cover this year regarding cloud, AI, or automation. And also, how is your year shaping up? As for mine, it's looking yellow. Why yellow? Because it promises to be full of risks, courage, and a lot of effort to launch my cloud support and service project in Africa. A business, an SME, a startup working in the cloud, deploying projects, applications, or platforms in the cloud, don't hesitate to contact me. And of course, share your passions and achievements. It will be a pleasure to connect with you. And above all, I'm coming, my friends, so don't hesitate to reach out if you're interested. You might be wondering, but what is she going to talk to us about today? Of course, we're going to have a gem, my friends. YouTube is often known for its trends in video formats. But what if we talked about technology trends? And yes, it might not be as fun or cool as you might expect or are used to seeing, but it will be necessary for this fast-paced journey into the cloud in 2026. The first one, which is at least the least shocking to me anyway, don't hesitate to tell me if you find it shocking, maybe, I don't know. But it would be good to have your opinion on the subject. It's the fact that there is or will be massive adoption of hybrid killer purchases. What do I mean by hybrid killer purchases? Hybrid killer purchases are those where part of the purchase is in the cloud, and part is on premises, meaning at the site of a physically located operator. It's a bit of a simplified explanation, I know, but it gives a basic idea of what a hybrid architecture is. And yes, this year we've seen a very widespread adoption of this architecture. And I wonder if you might already have your own idea about this. But I have mine right here. I'll tell you what I've identified, or at least based on the analyses I have on hand, which is the reason for this adoption. The first is, let's be honest, friends paid request. It costs a lot, and not everyone can afford to keep up with this in the long run. The second one is more about storage. Yes. Data houses, warehouses, and everything that comes with data, and new models. They consume a lot of resources. And in the cloud, things can add up quickly, my friends. It can get really expensive. So there are also other reasons I've identified, and that I find a bit, let's say it's very strategic. It's the fact that there are some. They prefer a somewhat moderate or modernized adoption, meaning there are some legacy applications which are critical and don't necessarily need to be on-site that I need. They need to be functional 24 hours a day, down to the second. They're on-site, on-premises, and pod. Of the infrastructure assets are in the cloud. So that's also a good strategy that I found very interesting when analyzing the different ways or methods companies use. And also there are some who have pushed things even further and thought about putting backups in the cloud. Yes. Friends, backups in the cloud and their infrastructure on site. So when they get hacked, of course, they'll turn to the cloud to deploy infrastructures, which I also find interesting. It's a very good strategy after all. The question remains whether it's suitable for your environment, your needs, your, let's say, application landscape or not, but it's worth considering. So those are some of the reasons that I found or that came to mind. Feel free to tell me in your own environment what drives companies to take this hybrid architecture approach, and why we're no longer fully in the cloud, with cloud plurality, but rather somewhere in between. The second reason I would mention is unpredictable for us, the technology players, but very obvious for end users. It's the fact that there's been a massive deployment of AI applications or platforms. And yes, AI platforms have become the answer, or at least the most effective way to meet business needs. Except we all know that AI applications or AI agents are expected to respond within 10 milliseconds. And if you host all of that in the cloud, it's going to take time. It will take at least a few seconds to respond. So deploying all of this in the cloud, AI infrastructures in the cloud, is no longer sufficient. So they prefer to have the infrastructure on site, while data processing and data visualization are done in the cloud. That way, if they need to scale, they can do so quickly, which is why new players are emerging. And of course, there are established players like Google Cloud who are already positioned in this space. And also Snowflake, the new player that's really making a lot of noise. It's a situation you've already experienced. Maybe it's an opportunity to take part in webinars and all the events they're currently organizing. And of course, there's also S3, my favorite AWS service, which also helps these companies store their data and scale quickly while keeping part of the solution's infrastructure in Paris. And that's also a good, let's say, way of doing things. And that's it for the second trend. That's right. And you're going to ask me, after we've said that having your own infrastructure costs a fortune, everything is deployed in the cloud. Oh, I also forgot something I wanted to mention. It's the fact that this has also brought back the concepts of data ingress and data egress, because you have the means to store the data and bring it back when you need it. So here's a little bonus that's very interesting if you go down this path. But you're going to tell me that there's obviously a third one, and maybe you've already seen lots and lots of laws passed about it. Yes. The third one is this growing requirement for energy sovereignty. And yes, governments aren't joking around anymore. They don't let things slide like they used to. And now they're aware of what's happening in terms of consumption. Today, cloud data centers are very energy intensive, and we've done a lot of studies on this. Many countries have passed laws regarding the carbon consumption of these data centers, these cloud infrastructures, and also the energy efficiency of these infrastructures. This situation creates a set of circumstances which makes it incredibly difficult to navigate. And I would even go so far as to say it's now become absolutely essential for your success if you truly want to continue this transformative journey within the cloud environment and effectively manage all aspects of your complex cloud infrastructure over the long term. So to sum up, the first trend is the massive adoption of the hybrid buyer for strategic and, let's say, economic needs of your company. The second trend is that instead of massive adoption, we are seeing the massive deployment of service platforms. AI means that we are choosing instead to keep costs internal and put the data in the cloud. And the third is sovereignty, to be able to continue innovating in the cloud in a healthy and sustainable environment over the long term. So what did you think about that? And you? What cloud or technological trend did you identify at the beginning of this year? Which one speaks to you the most? Or otherwise, which one are you currently working on, mobilizing your teams to achieve these goals? It will be a pleasure to listen to you and to share my tips with you, of course. For those whose challenge might be energy consumption, I would recommend looking into FinOps. Because yes, there are many things you can already control within your resources that will not only lower your bill, but also reduce your electricity consumption. It's really, let's say, a double win for you. It's a good deal, so don't hesitate. And if you're interested in learning more, I have an agent. It's a service I've set up called FinOps Assistance, which is very interesting and could help you get a clear picture and implement your solution with the tools you want and would like to work with. For me, that's all for this topic. If you want to know more, I might share more in the coming days. A new list or an updated timeline on the subject.